Excuse me. Excuse the noise, but I'm trying to be obedient and give y'all what come to me. So I should have went in my room, shut up in the room, but I ain't know they was getting up right now. So there's many ways that can be looked at, but we're gonna leave that alone too. Anyway, I want to read to y'all what come to me this morning, and then I'm gonna try to explain this because as I talked to the Lord, as I prayed, I hope it was Him that was speaking back. I'm learning that a lot of times we do get on here. I'm trying to do it on Facebook and YouTube, because I really plan on staying off here for the rest of this year. But the other day, as this began to speak to me, I was saying they really don't understand, Lord. And the day when I got down to get ready to pray, it just kept on coming to me to take and get the message from Luke and the number 23. Because I know that any time when things shows more than one, especially 3 times, that is really speaking. And the cycle of 3 was playing out in such a powerful way that it just spoke to me. So don't got much time because I got a lot of things to do today. So I'm going to give this. I hope that y'all can hear me. Anyway, today's date is 11/5/2022. I'm trying to do it on the Facebook and the YouTube because it won't let me just download it and upload it to both. It's saying I don't have the storage space. And the young man tried to explain to me that 32 gigabytes or whatever it is really ain't that much to retain videos. And I was trying to make sure that I'd be able to keep them because they're taking down so many of my videos that I'm taking and I'm posting. So anyway, I'm trying to take and do it on both. Okay, today is 11/5/2022. As I prayed, I got a glimpse of different angels standing there with scrolls. Never seen this before. This before. One with the white gown on, holding the scroll. One that was solid gold, holding the scroll. And the one that I usually see with the scroll, I standing there. They all 3 had scrolls and was standing there. I've never seen this before, is what I'm trying to say. I was told to give the message about Luke and the number 23. Okay. I then asked the Lord to please give me some more confirmation that it's really Him speaking. So I was asking Him to give me more confirmation that it's really Him that's speaking. And not me speaking out of my soul, because by me seeing the 23 and it's speaking to me like that doesn't mean that, it's something to take and get on here and do, is what I was saying to him. And I know he understood what I was saying, that sometimes you can be so engulfed with something that it don't necessarily have to be love. It can be something that's stirred up in you where that, something here is giving us a warning and it's wrong. And it just can be for you to know. Not God saying getting on here to give a message. So I was talking to him about that. I was saying, please let me know that I was asking him, give me confirmation that it's Him and not me speaking out of my soul. I then had a glimpse of that big gold vessel and that big white vessel. I had a glimpse of them. I wasn't seeing them in its fullness like I usually do. So I was like, that's kind of odd. Why is I'm just getting a glimpse of them? I still wasn't satisfied by just seeing this and getting a glimpse of it. I heard the music sound, it played. I said, okay, it got to be that sound. Okay. But this still didn't satisfy me because I only got a glimpse of these things. I then seen a big brown, because I only got a glimpse of these things. I then seen a big brown like eagle. It was real big. It was the color of brown. Take off into the clouds. And he then began to look down into the cloud. He began to look down to the clouds. Like looking down, I'm seeing the clouds as you flying above them and looking down. Okay, I began to see cities. I began to see what he see. As he was looking down through the clouds, it was like his eyes was piercing through him, and what the eagle was saying, I was seeing. Okay, and so I put right here, and he then began to look down through the clouds. I began, okay, it should have been, I began to see what he was seeing. I should have put, if I write down it fast, it should have been, I began to see, and a lot of, okay, as the eagle looked down, should have been, as the eagle looked down to the clouds, began to see through what was there. The eagle began to see, and I began to see what was there was beneath the clouds. And what was beneath the clouds was cities, okay, is what I'm trying to say. And a lot of homeless people in them, some sleeping on the sidewalks, some on the corners, bagging other people. It seemed like the eagle went to different places showing me this, and he was just showing. And usually back in the day when I would pray, when the eagle would take and soar like that, I would hear that cry like, and there wasn't no cry. And I'm thinking about that right now, thinking about this right now as I'm giving y'all this message. So that's speaking to me too. If the cry then went silent, then what is being said to us too. So let me go to Luke chapter 16, because I don't got long. Go to Luke chapter 16. And what I'm going to do is just read from verse 19 to 21. And then I'm going to show y'all what started to speak to me the other day. And I knew that the Powerballs that was getting ready to come out, I knew they was coming from this. And any of y'all that got discernment in the spirit know that I'm not lying. It hit me. Say the numbers that you looking for, all of them is coming from this. All of them is coming from Luke. Because, what we're getting ready to do right now is something that my brother kind of stirred up in my soul and my spirit before he left here. So, I was thinking about that. Then I was thinking about you being told to read Luke every night. And then when I went there, it said, it kind of spoke to me. There, all the numbers that you're looking for is in here. Okay? And then I was told not to play the other day. Not to do it. So I didn't. But anyway, just going to read these 3 verses, and I'm going to try to explain them to y'all the best I can. Okay, Luke chapter 16, verse 19, first verse. There was a certain rich man. Pay attention to that. There was a certain rich man, which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores. And there was a certain beggar laid at his gate full of sores. That verse 20. Verse 21. Desiring to be fed with crumbs, which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. That's the first 3 verses. And the other day, God know I'm not lying, something told me to go back through the last 3 draws, that the numbers that was getting ready to come in, and the one that came, the draw that came on Monday, I was told that the numbers was being that. Now, knowing what I know, when you go back in the number 19 kept on speaking to me, because the number 19 had showed up in the last 3 draws previous to that. And the other numbers was speaking. So I went back, I started doing, I just let it go. I just wasn't feeling it. Then draws come that day on a Monday. And I go over to my mom's house and we just talking. And, she showed me, and I said, wow. I was just told to read 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 1 to 13, but the verse 13 was the most important verse to pay attention to. And I was like, wow, that's the 13, and then the rest of the stuff just clicked. It was right in what I was told to do, the rest of the numbers. So, anyway, I let that go. So later on that day, I'm coming in, I'm sitting down, and I'm reading the scripture I'm told to read, and that's when it hit me. What you're looking for is right there in Luke. Okay? Not stopping and thinking that, hey, man, everything that you're doing right now is tying in. But my mind ain't there. My mind just trying to complete this one little thing that I'm trying to do. So anyway, make a long story short, here it is. I'm finna give y'all the breakdown and the warning that God is giving to all of us. And I hope y'all hear this, because it's speaking in a powerful way. Luke chapter 16, verse 19 holds 3 numbers to the drawing that just come out and made this jackpot worth $1.5 billion. Okay? And I was told that we was going to have a jackpot. I seen it in the vision. That was going to be $1.6 billion. I seen the 1 with the point and the 6. Okay? I was shown this just not too long ago. And then I was told in 2020 that we was going to have one that was going to be bigger than the first one. Y'all that had discernment to know that I'm not lying. I was also told that wasn't nobody going to hit the one that had come out Monday. I was also told that too. Anyway, back to Luke 16 and 19. Need y'all to pay attention to this. Now, here we go. Verse 19, the first of 3 verses. Okay? We know God does things in 3s. We know how the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost speak to us in that way. The Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. We know that we can find other things in 3. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Come on, Lord, help me out. See, I know all of this is something that's fighting. Yeah, I knew something was present. Cycles of 3s, I find them all the time. I can't explain all that because it take me somewhere else, but I need y'all to understand how the 3 played out in this first verse. Now, we're working in 3s here, and I'm getting ready to show y'all. Pay attention to this. Luke chapter 16, verse 19 gives us the first 3 numbers. There was a certain rich man. There was a certain rich man. So here it is, we got in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got in 6 words, them speaking about there was a certain rich man. 23 letters. Okay, he's putting emphasis on what came out in the Powerball about this rich man. There was a certain rich man. Please pay attention to that. Saying in the 6 words, but 23 letters. The Powerball was 23. Need to get this. Now, we skip and we go to the next part. Okay, because there's a comma there. We skip and we go to the next part. Which was clothed in purple and fine linen. Clothed in purple. Purple represents royalty and power. And he was clothed in this. So he had power because it made it clear in the first verse he was a rich man. You go to the middle, it backs up what's said in the first part of it. And remember that said in 23 letters, the gold ball was 23. The middle part of it says, which was clothed in purple and fine linen. So he walked in power, he had authority. It's letting you know that right now. It's emphasis on what he wore. On what he wore. It say, which was clothed in purple and fine linen. That's said in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Said on 8 words. So we know that 8 represents beginning. So it's letting you know that this right here is the beginning of what God is saying because it's in the middle. It's letting you know that. But dig what it said in. It says this in 35 letters. That's 2 numbers from the Powerball from the other day. It says in 35 letters. Then you read the last part of it, because this is a 3-part verse. Is y'all getting that? Do y'all hear this? 3-part verse. You hear me? Okay. Last part. And fear sumptuously every day. 3-part verse. Now watch this. And fear sumptuously every day. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Saying in the 5 words. So the 5 is emphasized in the end. And it lines up with the story where he's being told, he asking Abraham, could he send Lazarus back? The one is 5 brothers. Y'all need to get this. The first verse has 3 different things that it points to and is speaking about. But the middle emphasizes, the power and authority that this man had. Now you get the first two numbers there. And the very first number you get is the Powerball number, which is 23. Right there in the very beginning. Then in the middle you get the 35, where you had an 8 showing up twice. Twice. So this man wasn't only walking in a new beginning where he could have made a difference, but he also could have made a difference for someone else, Lazarus, which we get ready to get to. I know, just let me point out the 2 parts. Anyway, you got 2 of the Powerball numbers, right? Now, if you take and you break down these numbers, 23 breaks down to 5, 35 breaks down to 8. So you get 5 and 8. That's 13, right? The 5 and 8 is 13. Then you get right here. And fear something every day. That's 27. 27 breaks down to what? To 9. 9 and 13 is what? That's 22. You get 3 of the Powerball numbers right there. You get 3 of them right there. You get 3 of them. So twice the 3 then showed up in the first verse. Remember I told you about 3? Twice. 3 and 3. Now watch this. Now you remember, it's in the first 3 verses, so you get 3, 3, 3. Wow, man. Let them get that, please. Verse 20. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gates full of sore. This is the second verse, okay? We only got 3 of the numbers. This is the second verse. We're in verse 20. Okay, we need to pay attention there. So it's automatic 2 ways you do that with the 20. Then you break the 20 down to 2. There it is. You got the 4th one right there, playing it 2 ways. I know, I'm telling you. Anyway, you got the 2 right there. 2 right there. I had to show it to you, okay? Now, it says, and there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, okay? Named Lazarus, all right? Now, here we got Lazarus, and it said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Speaking about Lazarus, and 8 words, 37 letters, right? Right? So we take and do that in 9. So we know it's not there. Okay, even though that would have had to be looked at. So that's a whole nother combination. But I had already said, and Lord know I said this, It was in the middle. So let's move to the middle, which was laid at his gate full of swords. Laid at his gate full of swords. So it's saying that in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's saying that in 6 words. Okay? Saying that in 6 words. So 6 and 21 is 27 plus 20 is 47. In the middle. Because anytime you run in the middle like that and you're looking at it, I said it was, and those who have discernment will know I'm not lying. And this, one of the most important part of this is because here it is, you have a man that's laying at someone's gate, that's begging for crumbs, that's rich, they can give it to him with no problem. Jesus came here and he was rich. But we couldn't see his wealth until the end. When they took and put him on that purple garment and they was mocking him. And then later on, it was many others lifted up, but he came and he fed many. Remember the disciples threw the net over and there was 153 fishes in it. Remember all those he laid hands on and spoke to and healed. Remember all those that he fed and there was leftovers. Just remember all of this. Now here it is, a man that was rich. Okay, that was rich and was of royalty because it's mentioned about him having on a purple garment like Jesus. But here it is, he denied the poor. He denied those that were sitting right at his gate. When the woman came asking for healing for her daughter, what did Jesus say? Jesus said it's not right to get the bread of the children to what? To dogs. And the woman said even dogs are allowed to get the crumbs from the master's table. Jesus didn't laugh. He said, wow. Even though he knew she was going to say that. Then he healed her daughter. But here it is, the flip side of it. This man laid at his gate begging for crumbs. And then in the very next verse, it speaks about dogs coming licking his soil. Do y'all see the connection here? But anyway, let's get back to this because I need to show y'all the other numbers. Now, the middle number in this, I always said it was in the middle. And God, no, I'm not lying, said middle number in this is 47. But then you have to do the other process. When you break the 47 down, what does that say? It breaks down to 11. There you go with the fourth number. 11. Matter of fact, that's the fifth number because I just showed y'all the two. 11 and 11 is the fifth number. Just showed y'all that. And that would be the middle of the middle. And I pointed out that many times. Some running interference for real don't want me to do this. But the other day, the last message that I gave y'all, I spoke to y'all about the trumpet sounding loud with the 4. And then the sound changed by the time it got to the 7. It's in the last video. In the middle of this is 47 that breaks down to 11. That's the fifth number. Okay? Now, we at the third verse. Please, if y'all get nothing else, get this, please, because I'm finna end this at this. Third verse. And desiring to be fed with the crumbs. Now, he was designed to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sore. Here we go with the dogs. And here we go with the crumb thing. Here we go with the dogs. And here we go with the crumb things. Pay attention to the verse. And desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. The dogs come and licked his sores. Woman said, even dogs can get the crumbs from the master. You got both right here in this 21st verse. Now here you go. The number 60 was also on there. Okay? So we got 19 plus 20 is 39 plus 21 is 60. There you go. All 6 numbers. And then this, I can't close that because I got to show y'all the 23 in a very powerful way. Even though I gave y'all the 23 Powerball then, but I got to show y'all what this 23 is really warning us, really warning the rich people that got and seeing this and can make a difference in doing nothing. Okay, people that have, they're gonna stand before God, and God gonna say that He knew them not because they was in prison and didn't come and see them. They was hungry and didn't feed them. There's many things that we can do to combat what's going on here, and we're not doing it. We're not getting together and doing it. This is speaking for to show y'all the powerful warning in 23. Remember, you see the 23 the first time. See the 23 the first time. In the very beginning is verse 19. There was a certain rich man. 23 letters, you see this. In the 21st verse is 23 words that say this. And designed to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sword. This is said in 23 words. So it's saying that we have these people that's designed to be fed from us that have, especially the rich, and the rich is knowing them. This is the middle 23, because the third 23 that shows up in the end. Look at the end results of this, right? The end results of this. The 23 verse, and we know that's on the outside, but it's showing you what the end results of this is. Now pay attention to this. Pay attention, please get this. And in hell, he lifted up his eyes. Who was in hell and lifted up his eyes? That's in the 23rd verse. It says right here, in hell, he lifted up his eyes, being in torment and seeing Abraham afar off and Lazarus in his bosom. Who was in Abraham's bosom? Lazarus. Need to get that. This is the third 23. The middle one is saying, here it is, Lazarus is hollering out for help, sitting at his gate daily. So it's saying these rich people are seeing this. These people that have, they got seeing this and they are knowing it. So for y'all, anybody that hit this Powerball tonight, no, don't be like those that already have when God bless you. Don't be like them. Me, I'm just going to go and get some easy picks. I know that the numbers in here, I'm just going to ask God to bless me. And if it's me, I know what I'm going to do. But anybody that get this, know that it was a warning beforehand. Just like it's a warning now. Get this. One more time, 23. There was a certain rich man, 23 letters, 21st verse, and designed to be fed with crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sword. He was designed to be fed. He was designed to be helped. And the rich man annoyed him. Here it is, verse 23. What was the rich man at? Because this is the rich man that he's talking about. All we got to do is read verse 22. Let's read verse 22 before we get to verse 23. And it came to pass that the beggar died, pay attention, and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. He was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. Abraham's bosom. Now watch this. The rich man also died and was buried. He died and was buried, so he stayed there. Didn't no angels come and get him. Now verse 23. And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torment, and seeing Abraham afar off and Lazarus in his bosom. Verse 23. We have 23. Then we had 23 in the middle where the rich man could have made a difference. Then we had 23 at the end where the rich man was. What number do you get from 23, 23, 23? I've been pointing this number out to y'all for the longest. 23 breaks down to 5, 1 5. 23 breaks down to 5, 2 5. 23 breaks down to 5, 3 5s. I've been constantly warning y'all about these 3 5s. I done showed y'all how the 333 showed up in there. Okay? And this right here shows y'all how when the third 23 showed up, what had happened. Now, if you go on to read the whole story reveals a lot more. Okay? But this part is the only part that I can give right now. So if this is from the Lord, I gave the message. It's a big warning to anybody that hit this Powerball. Anybody that hit this. Know there's people that need your help. Okay? Anybody. And anybody that have massive wealth, that's seeing certain things, God is warning you in a big way. You won't see the kingdom of heaven. Remember, they done dug up Pharaoh's coffins and all this, and all that gold and stuff that was buried with them. Some of it was still there. That the looters didn't take, because God didn't have no need for it, and where you was going, you didn't have no need for it. I suggest that y'all read Ecclesiastes and Proverbs where it talks about that. Okay? Anyway, I got to go. Have a blessed day. I love you.